And we are live. If you have a man in your life or you're a male, and I'm sure that fits about just about anybody listening on, you wanted to listen in for the next few minutes. I have an awesome, experienced male today, and we are diving into men's health and having a positive play experience. So, Robert, thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate it. I'm honored to have you. And I think it's so fitting that we're talking about this issue, these issues in November. November known as Movember for, paying it, having that more awareness of men's health. And I'll leave our question for last. Or are you gonna
Just
continue with the rest of
well,
the
hold
time? I'll
on.
leave that for a final question. I will. So thank you so much again. I know you do have an awesome range of experience in these areas. So thank you so much again. So I want to talk about first men's health. And I know men, women, they approach health differently. So I want you to speak to men,
And
or
I
probably the
will.
women or their
I will
daughters.
speak to
What is
men.
it that Yeah. A lot of times you find men where they will, okay, I'll wait until I go check this, check that, and stuff. What would you be saying to those men who tend to like to delay paying attention to their health? Let's talk about those who like to procrastinate. Let's hear it.
Well, first of all, it's an absolute honor to be with you, Kirsha, today. And for those who are watching, Kirsha is holding off from asking me this important question towards the end of our fun conversation here. And but she gave me a heads up as to what the question will be. So I'm good to go. I have a prepared answer. So Kirsha is correct. Uh, we hope everybody knows that November, the month of November, is often tagged as something called Movember, and it's an opportunity for men to step up, men, step up, and give attention, and start giving attention not only to your general physical health and your spiritual health, but all forms of your health, maybe your financial health, maybe even your mental health. And
Yeah.
yeah, so you were alluding to the fact that um, it's just a known fact that men and women approach their health and wellness in two very different ways. And the challenge that I have, Kershaw, is that I approach my health very much in the same way that women approach their health, which is one, I'm very self aware of not only my physical health, but I'm very cognizant and self aware of my mental health.
Hmm.
And two, I take action and I act on problems or issues or concerns, especially with my mental health, right away. And, I grew up in a family that was surrounded by doctors and physicians, relatives who are doctors and physicians. So I grew up in a family where I became very accustomed to and very comfortable with talking about your health. So
Hmm.
my shout out, my shout out to men is get with the program. Let's get with the program. It's almost 2022, and it's time that the world stop talking about the fact that men don't talk about their mental health. It's
Yeah.
time, and you
And
bet. Why did you say yes to that?
Because I do know that a lot of times men do delay. Like, I have colleagues and stuff, and they'll, okay, I'll just wait. They're not always enthused to get a checkup, but I want you to elaborate a little bit on that though, because I know, especially with depending on your culture, like based
Yeah.
on my culture and way of life growing up, that mental health has that stigma. It means that you are probably on a very high. end of being, of course, and I'm just being respectfully speaking. So how can you know? And then recently, as I'm learning more and more, I'm always learning. I have twin babies, so they keep me learning. So one of the things I've realized is that everyone does have is along that spectrum of some mental health issue, right? So my question is, as a man speaking, or probably a woman who supports in various roles, daughter, wife, colleague as well, how can you know that? What are some trigger points to know, to look out for that? Hey, I'm having a mental health issue. I need to get help. Because sometimes it could be blown off like, okay, I'm just this way, or I'm just having an anger issue, or I'm just having a bad day, or, various things. So, what are some trigger points that are some symptoms that men or those around them need to look out for to know that I need to get help? This is almost serious. It's heading there. I need to get help.
Okay, so you covered a lot there. You covered a lot there,
Yeah.
and thank you, and thank you. But let's be clear with everyone who is joining us today, more so the men. We're talking about your health. Period. We're talking about your health, your physical health, your
Yeah.
spiritual health, your financial health, your mental health. We're not talking about mental illness. We're not
Mhm.
talking about a diagnosis from a healthcare
Mhm.
professional around an illness or a sickness that is at one end of the spectrum.
Mhm.
So, somebody like myself who has been diagnosed by a physician
Mhm.
as I live with and I manage depression and anxiety. There's actually 4 generations of diagnosed mental illness, the sickness of the mind, the sickness of the brain, 4 generations of mental illness in my family. And my sister is also living with and managing her mental illness, her brain sickness, her brain unwellness. So we're not here to talk about mental illness. We're here to talk about your health, your
Mhm.
daily mental health. So what I'm going to ask men
Mhm.
to do is to scratch that word mental from your conversation and just run with the word health. Because when we
Mhm.
insert the word mental onto health, thus the stigma, thus the uncertainty, thus the uncomfortableness, most significantly because men's minds jump to mental illness, thinking we're talking mental illness. The men's minds
Mhm.
jump to I'm not mental health. That suggests a weakness. That
Yes.
suggests I'm not doing my part in my relationship in keeping the finances afloat, in putting a roof over the head of our family, and putting food and providing for food and clothing and all the love that you're supposed to provide. It's the opposite. When you
Yeah.
are talking about your mental health, that's the true love. That
Mhm.
is the true heart of the relationship that you have with your partner, because you're demonstrating when you talk about it not
Yeah.
only your awareness, but you're
Mhm.
demonstrating that you're strong enough. You're a strong person to begin talking about your mental health. Now, the partner of the male's partner, listen to the small cues. And Kershaw, you brought up 2 of them. You said something like, I'm okay today. Things aren't as bad as I think they are. So
Mhm.
Kershaw is saying that when men are not in a good place with their health, the language that they use minimizes, makes the illness or the unwellness or the unhealthiness sound small and tiny and something that I can manage. That's why men will say, it's
Yeah.
okay. I'm okay. I'm doing just fine, right? Doing just fine. I'm okay. Things aren't as bad as they seem to be. I'm going to be okay. So listen to the language that doesn't sound very descriptive and very deep, and keep pushing your men. Keep pushing your men to go deeper into
Hmm.
the conversation.
Okay,
So
great. Yeah.
yeah, well,
What are some of the things oh, go ahead, Robert, go ahead.
your thoughts on that? I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, that does make sense. So it's like making sure that sometimes it could be something simple, how you're handling a bad day, or if it's prolonged, that you might say, I need to take that step back, and so. So the other thing I want you to, talk about is what are some of the things that you can do as men to really minimize you getting to that point where you're having that breakdown? What are some of the things that being proactive then? Yeah, that's it. How can you be proactive as well before you get to that stage where it needs even greater attention?
Wow, what an awesome question. What an awesome question. I'm not sure how to address that, but maybe I could answer it in this way. I'd like to
Mm-hmm.
invite all men to go online and find a website that today is all about men starting the conversation together. I'm so impressed, Kershaw, with the number of, we'll call them men's groups for now,
Yeah.
that have been organized by men
Mm-hmm.
themselves. And you can find them online. And there are a number of wonderful, fantastic, awesome men supporting each other in terms of starting the conversation. And what I've found in terms of being part of one of these men's groups is that I
Mm-hmm.
can learn through other men how to be proactive. So
Yeah.
it's almost like taking your own course, but it's exclusive
Yeah.
to men,
Of
right?
course.
It's not only course, right? Where you're going to meet
Yeah.
men who are maybe not doing the things that they need to do, just like us,
Mm-hmm.
who are going to come together and figure this whole thing out together. Because we need
Yeah.
not stand alone on our journey of our health, our mental health. So go online today and see what you can find. In fact, I'm going to put something in the chat, and I'm sending it right
Okay.
now. A
Mm-hmm.
magazine called Create the Ripple magazine, Create the Ripple
Okay.
magazine. The March
Mm-hmm.
edition of this year is all about, give me a moment here, it's all about issues that matter to men and their mental
Yeah.
wellness. And there's an
Mm-hmm.
article in this magazine, but that I've written, but there's numerous articles written by everyday men. It's
Yeah.
the Ripple magazine, March of this year, issues that matter to men and mental wellness. So I might not be answering all of Kirsch's questions today.
That's okay.
I'll tell you
I know
why.
we have a short time, so yeah, that's okay.
I
Yeah.
just want to motivate men to do something different after
Yeah.
today and know that, wow, they met this guy, Rob, on this awesome conversation, who lives with and manages depression and anxiety. Wow, this crazy dude is so comfortable talking about his mental illness, which is
Yeah.
like 4 generations deep in his family. And he's letting me know, that I don't have to do this by myself, that I can reach out
Mhm.
just on the internet and find other men just like me who are coming together and figuring out together how to grow
Mhm.
around the subject of their own health. He's even given us a magazine, man, all for free, all for free.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks so much for that. And it's so relevant because it's impacting just every man at every male at different levels, and it comes in different forms, and it is so important to just be aware, and not only be aware but be willing to take action, willing to take steps. It shows that you really care about yourself, those around you, and you really want to, just soar to a different level. And yeah, for sure. So
So let me
yeah.
let me say thank you to Kersha, because one of the benefits, okay, men, listen up. One of the benefits to growing into the type of dude that is really okay with not only their mental health, but talking about their mental health and taking action on it. Your partner loves it. Your partner absolutely loves it. And look at Kersha. She's a woman dragging a man into the conversation, and she's that's sometimes that's what we need. We need our women to drag us in, and they love it because it shows our humanity.
Yeah.
It increases the love factor between you and your partner. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
I would not be where I am today without the love and support of my wife, Sharon. So I'm going to give her a plug.
Mm-hmm.
She props me up
Yeah.
every day. She props me up every day. And she's got to live with this
Wow.
crazy. Yeah. So kudos, Kirsta. And you'll see a whole shift in how your partner relates to you because you're
Mm.
expressing vulnerability. You're expressing that you care enough about yourself to do something, but you also care enough about your partner to do
Yeah.
something. And that
Yeah.
relationship, yeah, you bet.
Yeah, exactly. And those around you could be your team, your kids. Yeah, that does make sense. Moving on to powerful play experiences.
Are we
Let,
over?
let, let,
We're way over time here. We're way over time.
let's switch course a little bit to dive into that. And what's the foundation for positive play experiences? What is the foundation? How do you get started with that?
Let's see what the banner says. There we go.
Yes, how do we get started with that? What are those steps really to reach to that? What are the steps that should be taken to really start that journey for power? I was saying positive, it should be powerful play experience. Sorry, I got twisted there.
There we go.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you, Kersha, for allowing me to plug the business that I've been offering for 15 years now. I'm out there 15 years delivering workshops online
Mm.
and in person throughout Alberta, a little bit into BC, and a little bit into Saskatchewan. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm all over this mental health thing. I'm all over mental health. So I also extend the importance of mental health from men to workplace teams. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only business out there that uses play. I get people to play together, adults to play together, adults in the world of work. I get adults to play together. I'm the only business that uses play and fun to relax everyone, to get them to chill, and then start some great conversations around mental health. And you can see Kersha's smile today and how much we're laughing. So you can see the power in laughter and playfulness and smile.
Yeah.
in terms of creating ease around talking about mental health. I mean, it's happening
Yeah.
here today. So that's powerful play. I come in and I do team rebuilding workshops. I do special events online, in person. But the theme is how do we get everybody talking about the mental well-being, the mental health, the mental optimism, mental health optimism. Do you like that term, mental health optimism? Do you
It's a
remember?
different term. I'm kind of having mental health. It's like I think I probably have to warm up a little bit to it.
Oh,
But
well,
in the same line, it's showing that definitely having a bright outlook when it comes to mental health, and that is what we want to have, that bright outlook for sure.
hold
We
on,
need,
hold on, my friend, hold on. Oh, hold on. I know it's here somewhere. Here we go.
oh yes,
You see,
Yeah, because
I,
we need to have that positive outlook.
I made this term up. I created that term because I want men to approach the idea of mental health as something that has good energy, good optimism attached to it. The mental health is heavy. It's a heavy kind of word.
It
So
is. It's
in my
intense.
yes, in my workshops, I often switch the language to mental health optimism, and just seeing how you reacted to it and shifted your own thinking and your own energy knows that I'm on the right track. www.powerfulplay.ca. That's www.powerfulplay.ca. And my website is being renovated right now, but that's okay. Let's talk. Let's start the conversation about workplace mental health. Look, Kirsha's smiling again. You can't get that smile off of her. You're just so, you've brought out the best in me, and I want to thank you. Like, you're just so
Yeah, I
easy.
want to thank you for coming on. Yeah, thank you. So
You're,
my question is, are you going to be a part of Movember? I know some, are you just going to start, or are you,
you want,
are
she
you?
wants to know, what am I doing for Movember, right?
Yes,
And
let's hear it.
uh,
I know some men, and I know everybody's different. I've been in, and some men, they're like, no, that's not for me. I'm not going to be a part. Some are okay. Everybody's different. How do you, what is it for you?
well, here's how I contribute to Movember. Movember. I intentionally didn't shave. Okay, the last time I
Okay,
shaved, probably three. Can you feel my cheek there, Kirsha?
I'll try. Trying to get
I haven't shaved in about 3 to 4 days, so I thought I'd show up today looking at a little bit scruffy to show that
yeah,
you know it's simple, it's easy, it's fun, and you know what? You see, again, women are talking about it. Women are talking about it.
yeah,
It's the beauty of the whole thing. If we're not going to do this for ourselves, at least do it for our partners. Because once our
yeah,
partners start giving attention to the whole
yeah,
subject matter, what they're really saying is that they care, they love you, they
exactly.
care about you, and they want you to be
Yeah,
happy and healthy. Share the love, share the love. That's all it is.
exactly.
Love.
My last question is, a lot of persons will listen. There are different stages in their life, different situations. Can you quickly share what was your turning point that I'm going to make a change?
Wow.
Just so, because I realize a lot of times what we go through, other persons are going through or will eventually. So our experiences are often to strengthen others. So there might be someone listening in, they're at certain points. What was your turning point that, just may say to them that I can have a turning point as well?
Okay. We'll keep my response short. So
Okay.
the turning point. It was not when I was a young child, and when my very dear aunt took her life. It wasn't then. It wasn't. It wasn't when my sister attempted suicide and tried to take her life. Thankfully, she was unsuccessful with taking her life. Knock on wood. It wasn't then. It wasn't. It wasn't when the various times during my childhood when my mother admitted herself to the psychiatric ward of our
Mhm.
local hospital. It wasn't then. It wasn't then. It wasn't in 1998 when I experienced my first undiagnosed episode of depression and anxiety, undiagnosed. And it wasn't 3 years later after that, 98, 99 to 2001, when I was diagnosed with yet another episode of depression and anxiety, this time diagnosed. It wasn't then. But here's how I'm going to answer the question. I do what I do. I make the change for my wife, Sharon. I am motivated 1,000,000,000% to make the change, to get better, to feel better, to work on my health for my loving wife, Sharon. So if I can't do it for myself, which clearly I can, I put my wife first. And I think of her having to live with me and the challenges that results in her daily life. And I say to myself, it's not right. It's not right that she too has to carry the challenges of my mental health in her daily health. So I'm motivated each and every day to address my daily mental health, to ensure that my wife gets to live her day, her way, in her positive mental health. And that keeps me motivated. That's every day is my turning point, is when I'm with my wife and I refresh my memory and say, oh, right, I'm doing this for Sharon. I'm wondering if other men can do the same.
Thank you for sharing that, because, just being so vulnerable, and, it might not even be one turning point. As I'm listening to you, it could be different times, different stages, different stage of healing, different turning points, and that's okay. So thank you so much for sharing, and I'm encouraging everyone who listens to share this video out. You never know who might, need the support with our community. I'm a firm believer in that. And definitely, if you have more questions, you can put them in the comments. You can reach out to Robert. I'm sure he'll be happy to talk more with you. And do remember to not only share it with men, but women as well, because we're all impacted by men in some way, sons, brothers, in so many ways, right?
Okay. Let's. I'm going to finish off with two very quick points. When you hear the research, and often you'll hear people state the research that 1 in 5 people will experience some type of mental health challenge in their lifetime. That's not true, because it's almost 5 out of 5. Because your mental health challenge will challenge the people around you, your partner, your children, your people, your cohorts at work, your coworkers. So everybody is impacted. So to say 1 in 5 is really the correct way of framing that is really 5 out of 5. Because when you look at my situation, my wife is impacted. Last thing I want to say is reach out to Kersha. She's amazing, if you don't already know that. And reach out to Kersha. She's amazing, and she would love to connect with you. She has just a wonderful expertise in an area that is so not my expertise. And look at all those letters after her name. Look at all those are a lot of letters. So she's your go-to woman on all things about those letters right there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And, we had such a great time, great laughter, and just tackling just the tip of the iceberg on this pretty intense, relevant, integral topic that impacts everyone. I have to say it impacts everyone. So thank you so much again, Robert. I'm so honored to have had you on, for today. And
that was the longest 20 minutes we've ever.
Yeah, that's how it is when time flies when you're having fun, right? So thank you everyone for tuning in. And do remember to state where you're coming from, and if you have any questions. And bye, we'll talk soon.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye, everyone. Thanks.